You were listening to chartingwealth.com for Friday, the 6th of April, 2018. We see stocks are up for the day. 20-year bonds are down, gold down as well. Let's jump into the S&P 500 up 0.79%. We still, however, have a down weekly candle as far as our Heiken Ashi candlesticks go. Now, the candle has retreated. It's got quite a long wick on the bottom. It's not as long as the candle itself, not as long as it had been earlier in the week. We see the derivative oscillator losing energy, and also the price percent oscillator not headed down at the same angle it had been the week prior, ending the 29th. That was that short week ending Thursday, the 29th of March. We see that the candle again quite short with a long wick on the bottom. As we go to the 2-day chart, we see the same thing occurring. Derivative oscillator losing energy, price percent oscillator actually heading up toward the signal line. And of course, we have the first day of the latest 2-day candle. A green open box means strong up movement, has of course already torn through the 2-day trend line, is now blasted through the weekly trend line. Still don't have a crossover yet, but that strong up movement for the first day of the latest 2-day candle is something to pay attention to. And of course, as we look at the 4-hour chart, we had that crossover back on the morning of Wednesday the 4th. And even though it was a red down candle that morning, it was a spinning top, meaning lots of indecision. Then we had in the afternoon and in the afternoon on Wednesday morning on Thursday, strong up movement, pairing off a little bit in the afternoon on Thursday, not blowing through the weekly trend line, but sitting right up there on it. And again, derivative oscillator gaining energy, price percent oscillator heading up. Now again, just keep in mind, 2-day chart and the weekly chart still heading down on the S&P 500. We'll continue to keep an eye on things, but the big charts both still in confirmed down moves. We'll see how Friday wraps the week up. Again, up for the day, 0.79%. QQQ, the NASDAQ 100, the tech stocks, again going into the third week of down movement on our Heiken Ashi candlesticks. Again, you don't know what Heiken Ashi is, please go to our website. We have a great training. I think we're almost up to 70,000 people having it's blown everything out of the water that we have done. It's good to see that many people taking it. Heiken Ashi means average pace in Japanese. It's kind of candlesticks we use, and they are a wonderful alternative to your standard open, high, low, close candlestick. Again, take that training. It's also available at the Charting Wealth YouTube channel. Third week of down movement, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum, price percent oscillator still heading down nicely. Look at the 2-day chart going flat, not all the way flat yet on the price percent oscillator, derivative oscillator losing energy. Again, a green open box candle, the first day of the latest 2-day candle, is blown through the 2-day trend line, as we saw in the S&P 500, pushing up on that weekly trend line, has not penetrated that yet. As we look at the 4-hour chart on the NASDAQ 100, it crossed over going up in the afternoon on Wednesday, strong up movement in the morning on Thursday, bit of a back off. Derivative oscillator gaining energy, price percent oscillator going up, not at the same strength it had been in the morning, paired off a little bit in the afternoon, but we'll continue to keep our eye on things. Remember, the Qs, just like the S&P 500, still confirm down moves on the weekly and the 2-day. So we'll continue to see how that plays out. We had a weekly vertical crossover going up back on the prior Friday. Derivative oscillator over the course of the week has gained upward momentum. Price percent oscillator, however, is quite flat. We see that we have so far forming the next to last day of this weekly candle, a red open spinning top, pretty much, long wick on top. So there's a attempt to move things up, very little wick on the bottom, but sort of a failure to do that. It's not a solid red down candle, so it doesn't mean strong down movement. It's still tending up, but weak. The derivative oscillator, like we said, is flat. The price percent oscillator is flat. Derivative oscillator gaining energy. As we delve a little deeper into things, we see that in fact the 2-day chart is the price percent oscillator is actually not even flat, it's down. and the derivative oscillator headed down, and we have the first day of the latest 2-day candle, a strong down move blowing through the 2-day trend line. Don't have a weekly trend line yet because this is only the first week after the weekly vertical crossover. So it's not looking that strong there. We see that we had a crossover going down on the 4-hour chart back in the afternoon on Tuesday and has been going down since then, piercing in the morning on Thursday the 2-day trend line. And again, growing in downward momentum on the derivative oscillator, price percent oscillator headed down quite strikingly. So again, one would expect as stocks go up for TLT to lose some of that upward luster, which it has done. We'll continue to keep our eye on things as we finish up the week and see where that candle is. Again, like we said, derivative oscillator still gaining momentum, price percent oscillator flat, and the 2-day chart and the weekly still up but weak. So we'll keep our eye on things. What's gold doing? Well, gold never managed to cross over going up back on that week ending the 23rd of March when it looked like it might. Went up the following week. Derivative oscillator, however, has always remained weak. Price percent oscillator could not make it crossing over going up and actually bounced off the red signal line and is headed down. As we end the week, looks like we're going to end up with a doji. Means lots of indecision, tending down on the weekly chart. And as we look at the 2-day chart, just starting to cross over going down. Now, what does that mean? Again, can't call it down yet until Friday closes, because that's when the latest 2-day candle will close. It's only the first day of the latest 2-day candle. Remember, you don't call any candle until the time period ends, because if it were a big up day for gold tomorrow, it would pull that price percent oscillator right back over. Derivative oscillator is still positive, so we'll see how things go. If indeed gold crosses over, that means that the 2-day chart will be in league with the weekly chart heading down, and we might have some trading opportunities over the course of the next week. What do we see with the 4-hour chart? It way down in the morning, a little bit of an uptick in the afternoon. Derivative oscillator gaining energy, price percent oscillator headed down. So we'll continue to keep our eye on gold and see how things go. So again, we are watching the S&P 500 to see if this up move is ending. Same with the Qs. We're seeing if TLT is going to continue going down and rotate over on those big charts. Not done that yet. We're going to keep our eye on gold and see if indeed the 2-day chart is going to parallel the down movement in the weekly. Folks, that's where we are on Thursday as we go into Friday the 6th. Don't forget, at the end of the day, on Friday, we're going to produce for you our comprehensive review and forecast, talking about the prior week and the coming week, and it'll be put out to you over the weekend. Hey, we're glad to have our website back. As you noticed, for the first time in years, we were not able to get out to you our email. We got it out first time in the last 2 days, early this morning, right before the markets opened. This one, of course, going out on time. If you're not already a subscriber, you need to be one, and you will get our daily market review every day as soon as it's finished in your email box. It's free. Go to chartingwealth.com and sign up. We're so glad to have our hacked website back. Thank you for your patience, and all of you who wrote us and called us and were concerned. Everything is well now. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.